Hey, howdy, hey.
Ho. Sorry, I interrupted you. Howdy, hey, hey, ho. Hi.
Hey, howdy, hey. Welcome back to Trek on the Tube Live. It's a live stream with the co-host, the guest, the friend, Starfleet Sohail. How you doing? Thank you
Oh,
so
I'm
much for
hearing you
joining me.
twice. Okay, now I'm. Sorry, Toddy. I messed up the opening to your
Is this
stream. I
technical
apologize.
difficulties on your end, or is this the stream that's screwed up?
I
No.
pulled up the stream to watch, kind of like to
Oh, okay.
see the chat, right? Because it's easier than like if I want to participate in the
You
chat.
have to mute it.
And then I didn't mute it, and then I was like confused because I was like, I heard you ask something, and then I heard you ask it again. And then I was like, I can't do this. So I finally muted it. So now we're good. We're solid. You can do your
Well,
introduction again if you need to.
no, I'm fine. It's absolutely fine. Thank you all for coming. No one has come yet, but if you do come later on, you can leave comments. Yeah, you can leave comments, and believe it or not, Starfleet Sahel might be able to reply to them on time because he's not running the goddamn conversation this time.
I know. I'm so excited that I don't have to
He
be
can
the host.
actually participate in the chat. So see, there
Yes.
we go. The
Yay,
rat
Yosef! Oh, great. The random
greetings
minutes.
from the future.
Are you in the future? Oh, yes, you are in the future. That's true.
Oh,
Very
really?
good.
We have
Very
people
proper.
from the future. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, initially we wanted to talk about just one thing, but there's another thing that's kind of like overshadowing the original thing from today. But yes, the original thing that we wanted to talk about is the Section 31 movie event that they just announced, whatever the hell that means, but we can get into that. And also, we wanted to talk about Strange New Worlds, considering we just got a Strange New Worlds Season 2 trailer. Before we jump into that, I just want to pick your brain about how none of this kind of came around for like First Contact Day. And
Oh,
now they're
thanks
just
for
coming at.
asking me. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but I actually
Okay.
don't care.
Oh, okay.
I prefer things being sprinkled throughout the year.
Hmm.
Like I think First Contact Day is cool for fans, but like it, there's also the anniversary every year, so it's like I
Yes.
don't know. I just think that if they're gonna cut budget and give it to the shows, then I'm okay with them not doing an event on First Contact Day
Yeah.
and give the money directly to the shows, which is what I truly enjoy.
Hmm. Do you
How do you
think
feel?
this is unrelated, but now that you've addressed that, I think that maybe reorienting like First Contact Day into more of like a fan celebration where they wouldn't have to necessarily like drop trailers or have like Star Trek alumni attend, which I'm supposing you have to
That's what
pay
it
these
always was.
people.
I
You
remember when First
can
Contact Day was like just a fan thing. It was, and I think
yeah.
that's cool that what it did is during the pandemic, Star Trek rallied the powers that be, whatever you want to call it. They rallied and they're like, let's do something to cheer people up. People forget the context, I think, of things sometimes, and then
Mm.
hold these companies accountable for like, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's true, they didn't, but we got trailers like 2 weeks later, whatever. It's fine. Am I being a corporate shill? I think I am. Sorry.
I don't
That's.
think so. I also think this was strategic because I think they dropped the Strange New Worlds trailer season 2 like today because today by now everyone has finished Mandalorian season 3.
Right.
I
Oh,
think
good.
that's
Good
it.
point. Yeah.
They
By the
waited.
way,
I haven't
Mando
seen
season
it. I
three.
say
Oh, you haven't
everyone,
seen the
and I
last?
haven't even seen the last episode. I caught up. I spent 3 days catching up the whole season. I have not seen the final one. Hey, Ruben, how you doing? Thank you.
Ruben, do you
No, I haven't
believe
seen it
in
yet. Um, that's more of an ABTG discussion or like an after dark
That's true. It's a
discussion, the
good point. Yeah, yeah,
Mandalorian
yeah, that's
thing.
true. But I
Though
will just say
I
that
will be doing a
I
review for season 3 on this channel.
my only complaint about The Mandalorian is I think they needed one or two more episodes, but I think we'll get
Mm.
them in Ahsoka because that seems to be what Disney does. They're like, let's stick an episode of The Mandalorian into this other show.
In the
So
Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we'll actually get that wish after all. Maybe they'll show up on the Bad Batch or something. No, that takes place before. But anyway,
That'll make
sorry,
people
carry
that'll make
on.
people mad. You seem to not be too fussed about it, but people were really mad that like Mandalorian episodes happened in the Book of Boba
The
Fett.
thing is that I watch everything. So I'm one of those like Ryan Airy kind of on what's his show called Screen Crush. Ryan Airy's always talking about how like shows should try to strike a balance between relating to new fans or like casual fans versus like fans who watch everything, right?
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think he was saying that Mando was pushing a little too far into the out, this season, like, but then I can't talk about it. Anyways, we're not here to talk about
We're not
Mandalorian.
here to talk about Mandalorian.
Sorry.
I do. The reason why we are talking about Mandalorian is because I do think it was a strategic drop for Strange New World season 2, like dropping the trailer. But let's talk about Section 31 before we get into that. Mainly because there's less to talk about. I think at this point we don't have like
Yeah, we don't know much.
yeah, Strange New Worlds. We've already had a season. We've got like a full trailer. So Strange New Worlds. So sorry, Section 31. Michelle Yeoh has officially signed, I'm assuming, a contract here behind the scenes. She's coming back.
Yes.
She's no longer Michelle Yeoh. She's Academy Award winner Michelle Yeoh, right?
I
So
know.
it's like big prestige attached to this whole project. And they've changed kind of direction. I think originally they either wanted to make like a full show or maybe like a limited series, but now they're just going for like a movie. What is, in your opinion, a movie event? Is that just a fancy way of saying it's a film?
I think it's gonna be like a 2 hour one off. I don't know if you and I talked about this. We've had so many Star Trek discussions over the years, live
We've
and
talked
not
about
live.
everything.
Yeah, but like I always thought like that would be a great, like that's kind of what I was hoping for what Picard was going to be before Picard existed. Like I kept lobbying or like standing for like a next generation thing, and I was like, oh, and if you don't want to do it in the theater, just release it on streaming. Everyone's going to
Mm,
watch it, right?
mm.
And so I kind of like that. Like obviously Michelle Yeoh's schedule is probably very booked at the moment. I can't imagine
I'm assuming
uh
yes.
yeah, so to get her in a Section 31 film to me is really awesome for the reason that we had her first kind of before, like Michelle Yeoh kind of came back with Star Trek, right? Like she kind of came back and started doing more films and stuff like that. And she's gone on podcasts and talked about how much Star Trek means to her.
Mm.
So I'm super stoked that she's choosing to that they've or that they've figured out a way to bring her back, and I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I think it's going to be a soft, not a, maybe a hard pilot, depending on how popular it is, but I guess it'll be a pilot for a series in some way. That's my guess. Like
Ooh,
it's going to
okay.
kick off a series cuz like back in the day you had pilots like that sometimes where it was a TV event or a TV movie and then a show would follow like a year later or something like that depending on the response.
Okay. I
So it
don't.
might actually be an old school technique
You
coming back.
could be right, actually. So I don't know if this is more of a like what I think is going to happen or more of a what I would like to happen. But in my gut, I feel like it's not a pilot. I feel like,
Right.
on the
It's
contrary,
gonna be a movie.
they
That's
have
cool.
they have seen how like fan response has been mixed in terms of like a Section 31 show over these like years that like Discovery, like when they first announced Section 31 in those original bullet points when Kurtzman came into power. Um, they had like Section 31, and I've seen mixed reactions, even from like very hardcore, very positive fans. People were always kind of like iffy about Section 31, um, because of kind of like the negative connotations of what like the organization is and how it kind of contrasts with the ideals of Star Trek. So I do think it would be a more clever idea to, still deliver on what they promised and still, because if they have a great idea, then, execute it, do that great idea, but at least you keep it kind of self-contained. It's a movie, and then you don't have to kind of like submerge fans with like a show about Section 31. That's what I think they're
Sure.
gonna do.
But if it's wildly popular, they're gonna consider a series. I'm sure right now, because of Picard like
If
breaking
it, if it
records,
brings in the
they're
money.
told yeah, I mean like ultimately like, I think that like it is going to be in some ways a test like to see what the reaction is going to be because it is so controversial as you say because personally I'm gonna watch it, Michelle Yeoh. it's Star Trek. You slap something, you
Everything
slap
is a
Star Trek
soft
on
pilot,
something.
though, technically, right?
No, I know, but sort of. But you're getting a little crazy here. You're like, so you, you slap Star Trek on it. I'm gonna consider it, and so I'm definitely gonna
Mm.
watch it. It's not a huge investment. I don't have to watch it for 10 hours. So, you know.
I have been backed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need more audience members to back me.
So
Can
if
someone
you
come
haven't
help?
if you haven't read like all of the kind of like the announce like the news and like the bullet points and everything that they wrote about it, Michelle Yeoh has these words like, "I am beyond thrilled to return to my Star Trek family and to the role that I've looked for so long. Section 31 has been near and dear to my heart since the journey began, and since I began playing Philippa Georgiou all the way back when this
I
new
want.
golden age of Star Trek launched.
Oh my gosh. She's a time traveler now. She could go back in time and meet Captain Philippa frickin' Giorgio.
To see her finally get her
Sorry.
moment
We can
is a
get both
dream
of
come
them.
true. Uh, she speaks about it in a very, very positive light. You can feel that it's like a passion project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not because let's face it, Michelle Yeoh she's making big bucks at the moment. She's headlining. You know what I mean? She's in like a great moment in her career. And if she didn't want to do this, or if she didn't have like she wouldn't do this. If she didn't have to do this, she you know what I mean. So it really feels like she's coming back to this out of love for the franchise, for the character, for the story that they've developed, and it also feels like she is going to be central to the story, which is not something I was expecting. I think a lot of people were kind of like me, kind of like theorizing that if like Section 31 came back, maybe she would kind of like do the pilot. She would be like a player, kind of like in the background, and they would have a younger cast or like
Well, because
a
people
newer range
were,
of characters.
because folks were thinking we were gonna get a show. Because Alex
Yes, the
Kurtzman, if
time
I'm not
investment would have
mistaken,
been too big
yeah,
for her.
if yeah, and I feel like some of these things stay in development for a long time, and things change. This is, I think, a glimpse into the like I don't know any specifics. I don't work in show business, but like you could just kind of see like Michelle Yeoh's career picking up. She spends less time on Star Trek.
Mm.
There was a lot of excitement for the Section 31 show because they were probably developing it with her early, or when that stuff happened in Discovery, they started, and we do know that because I think the two writers who were on Discovery, Erica Lippold and
Boyon Kim, yeah.
Bowie, yeah, Boyoung Kim, they were. I think they even made an announcement, if I if I recall correctly, that they
Mm.
were working on developing the series, and then
Well,
Michelle
they'd
Yeoh,
been tagged as like the executive producers, basically the showrunners, the two of
yeah,
them, or at
yeah.
least
So I think this
principal
is like
writers.
I think we're seeing the evolution of a deal, and if it becomes a show, there's no reason why she can't be like the Charlie for like the Section 31 Angels
Mm.
analogy. You know what I mean? Like she could totally. And nowadays, like the way they're recording things, like there's gonna be AR walls all over the world. You can just like I'm not even joking. You could walk into an AR studio in London, and someone just has to upload your background, and a director and a cinematographer has to show up, and it doesn't really matter where you are. You can film anything anywhere. It's everywhere all at
And there you
once.
go. There you go.
Sorry,
You can.
I get excited
It's
about
true. You
technology.
can put a Joju Starfleet office basically. Like you can render that out
Anywhere.
in your AR wall,
Yeah.
and wherever the hell she is at that time, in the
She could
world,
be filming another movie, and they
she
have
can
an AR
film.
they
That's
have an
right.
AR thing.
They
She
have
could
a
just walk
tent.
over to
She
they
walks
have a
into the
tent.
tent. I'm walking
That's
into my Star Trek office, people. Give me a couple minutes. She films the scene and then she goes off.
So we can have our Michelle Yeoh in Star Trek. It's possible that we have the technology.
We have the technology, people. Um, so written by Craig Sweeney, directed.
So who is Craig Sweeney? I don't know. I didn't look
I
him up yet.
I had looked it up. Uh,
I'll look it up.
he's
Here, I'll be your
you,
wingman today.
you can do that, but I think he's written for like Elementary, I think, but he's written on Discovery, I think, as well.
Oh, cool.
So he is close. And then directed by Olatunde Sunsanmi,
Yeah, that was
uh,
exciting.
better known
Very
as
cool.
Tunde, with our Star Trek peeps. So that's very good. Olatunde is someone that like I
We're
appreciate very
very
much, and
familiar
his
with.
yes, we're
Yeah.
very familiar with his work and his directing when it comes to Discovery. Of course, I think that everyone like everyone that directs on like a show like Discovery, they have I think overall guidelines in terms of like creatively what they're trying to achieve. So you have to respect a certain style or a certain aesthetic that comes with the show. But he's a very very good director. So I'm very happy to see him attached to that. And then of course executive produced. They have a million names. I don't see Boyan Kim and I don't see Erica Lippold in there anywhere.
Mm.
Um, but this is early days. This is the first announcement. I'm assuming that they're gonna have writing credits in there somewhere, right? Like if they've been creating and working on this thing since the
Yeah,
inception
I
of the
was wondering because
project.
I was wondering who was behind it. I'm sorry. The only thing I didn't even really read the Section 31 press release yet, because I'm so consumed by Picard. Uh,
It's consumed.
I'm consumed by it. Picard is the fire in which I burn. No, just kidding. It's a companion.
It's a good thing that Mandalorian comes out like a day before, because otherwise, like you would forget about Mandalorian.
Oh
Like
yeah,
Picard drops, you're
there's
just
nothing
like
else. Everything else goes second for me to Picard. Which, by the way, are you showing up tomorrow?
I am showing
I'm
up
putting it
tomorrow.
on. Oh, good. Okay, good. I said I'm putting it on your
I am.
stream.
I don't know how long you're going to go for because this is the finale. You might want to run for
You have
15
to
hours.
try. I give you permission to like ping me or whatever to remind me because I really want to cut it off at an hour and a half. There's like no
Oh,
reason
okay.
to go into 2 hours. Yeah, like
Well,
an hour
it
15
becomes
minutes. And
ramblings basically at that point, right?
well, then we digress into other topics and yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So
Okay. All right.
especially
Well,
since
I
most of
can do
us
this
will only have
seven
seen it
to eight
like
thirty. I can do that. That's fine.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Especially since, but you gotta kind of help me because I get like I am now. I'm
I get
derailing your show.
sidetracked.
Like I get like
Yeah, but this is even more casual and even more informal. All right. It's fine.
no, Trek on the Tube's very professional. Have you seen the videos that you've put out lately? Yes, of course you have.
Yeah, I haven't seen them. I edit them, but blindly. I just randomly click at thing. Like
You're
it's gonna
very
work.
professional. You're very
Thank you, sir.
professional. Is all I have
I
to
thank you.
say. Yeah.
Wait a minute, we got a comment here. Since we know that the
Oh,
Mirror
cool.
Universe is still close to the 24th, 25th century, we could get her and Bashir.
You can get everyone. Like the
I would
movie
be on
could
cloud
also
nine.
feature disco cast members. You could have Sonequa Martin Green in there too, which would be awesome. I'd be very happy about that. And I was thinking with what they've done with Picard this season, where they released the first two episodes and the last two episodes in limited release in IMAX theaters. Like, can you imagine they might do the same thing for the Section 31 film?
I think they would do that based on the success of it. Like they would release it on video on demand first, like it's a Paramount
Right. I'm
Plus like
just
exclusive, and based on the
yeah.
success of that or on the demand, they could then release it like in like a limited or a select amount of theaters. That
I
would be
miss going to
great,
the
actually.
movie theater to see a Star
I
Trek every 2 or 3 years. Like it
oh
was
that
nice.
yeah.
I don't remember how long the gaps were, but I feel like the longest gap was probably from Star Trek 6 to Star Trek Generations, but I'm not sure on that
Oh, I wasn't there yet for all of that. Come on.
one.
Yeah, it could be time traveling. My little kind of like canon like nerd brain wants me. I've always had this idea that I've wanted the Section 31 show since its very like announcement. I've wanted it to not retcon because there's nothing to correct. I've just wanted to see a kind of like an explanation that transitions from the like widely known Section 31 that we see in like Discovery to the very secretive, a very kind of like almost non-existent organization that we have in like Deep Space Nine. I think it would be interesting to kind of like transition into that. I don't know if that's now a viable plot line or an interesting one to put in like a movie. If you're going to do like a 2 or 3 hour film, I don't know if like that's the direction you would want to go in. Um,
Worf says that Worf and Picard said that Section 31 is a critical division of Starfleet, and I thought he meant like an essential division. But
hmm.
what if it's set up to be a division that intentionally antagonizes the Federation
Okay. A division that
by
critiques. It's a critical. It critiques.
And that they're always at what the reason why the Federation works so well is because they've set up and they have an organization within it that's friendly to it that also fights it. So the Federation
Mm.
then becomes prepared for anything, really. And so that's kind of
So
the
they have their
essence of
own
it.
personal Starfleet Sohail to their toddy, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, like, because like you have to think about it like, you know, I think a government that works as well as the Federation does probably has to have a system of checks and balances. And
Mm.
that's why it's so enduring, also, right? And so, Section 31, we as the audience know about it, but like the vast majority of people, only high level people and people who've heard of it that are also high level. What we've seen in Star Trek, everyone's like, everyone knows what Section 31 is, but we haven't seen that everyone knows what Section 31 is. We've only seen like really important people kind of know what Section 31 is.
Do Mariner, like Tindy, Rutherford, and Boimler, do they know what Section 31 is? Yeah, they do.
They do, but they know about it, I think, in the way that I don't think Section 31's like exploits are published in history books. But just like
Okay,
the
so it's more like a
CIA,
okay, it's like a
it's
general
not
knowledge. We know that there's like an
right,
organization, MI6 or
right,
whatever it is. We know it
right.
exists, but we don't know.
And
Yeah.
by Mariner's time, and again, it goes back to the whole like sometimes it's more known and sometimes it isn't. I think it depends on like what events are occurring.
Hmm.
Depending on that, people will blame Section 31, just like we do.
Hmm.
We're always like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not. I don't think it's like again. The vast majority of people probably just don't care or don't believe it exists. Is more. I think that's a more appropriate
Okay.
thing. It's like
It's all a
that they
conspiracy,
don't. Yeah, it's all a
like the
conspiracy.
Dominion War.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's how I see it in the world of Star Trek. So that's why. But also, I'm not interested in those stories as much. I like the light side of the Force, and I like the light kind of
Yes.
side of the Federation.
I
So,
think that's the general sentiment, though, I think,
yeah.
in the fandom. And so, like, what's been good, actually, I'll say this, is, you know how there's been, like, a lot of open hate and a lot of, like, open kind of, like, anger about, like, Discovery when it came out, and there's been a lot of fuss, even about, like, Picard, that kind of stuff. There's even been, like, shit talking about, like, Lower Decks, how it's animated, etc. I haven't seen animosity towards Section 31. I've always seen like kind of like very uh I guess constructed like kind of
Oh
arguments in terms
no.
of like people feel that like maybe the vibe of like a Section 31 organization doesn't necessarily suit like what the franchise is trying to do as a whole. And those have always been the comments, but it's never been like openly like dreadful against Section 31. Maybe it's because I've blocked out all of the dreadful people from all of my feeds and everything.
Star Trek is kind of, I think, as it grows larger and larger, I think this is where Star Trek's ahead of Star Wars. Star Wars is just starting to do this, but Star Trek has been doing it for a long time. Where, this whole concept of like fan unity, I love it. I'm all for it. But like, why? Why does everyone have to love every show? Like, why
Look
does
at
everyone have
this.
to like?
Look at this comment. I'm sorry to interrupt, but this comment is reflecting what you said earlier.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I hope so. Hello, Saint G. Who are you? Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being here.
um, I don't remember what I was saying just now,
Fan
but I
unity.
think fan unity. Yeah, so like I love that idea. I 100% love it. But like people are gonna enter into I like the little grinny face. People are gonna enter into Star Trek at different points now. There's no
Yeah.
way to start from the beginning if you're just discovering it. Like, you know what I mean? So we have these like as fans when we discuss fandom, we have these like major entry points. So everyone talks about the TOS entry point, and in that entry point there's like people who were there when it like started. So these are
Mm.
like older folks like in their 60s. I mean, sorry, older than that maybe. These folks are probably now in their like nearing their 70s. Then there's me. I was a TOS introduction. Like I saw it in syndication. I didn't see it. I saw it like in reruns basically
But you'd
as a
consider
kid.
yourself like a TNG entry point man.
But no, I don't. I consider myself a TOS entry point, but
Ooh,
the one I
okay.
watched live is the one that's the most special to me, and that's
Yeah, fair
TNG.
enough.
That's like the one that like has the most like investment for me because I was like thrilled that there was new Star Trek like on TV. So TNG, that's why
It
this
was over the
Picard
moon.
feels that's why Picard's been such a treat for me because that's my that's my like
And
heart
Discovery was a
trek
huge entry point.
for a lot of well sorry then the next one I think would be Voyager. I think Voyager, I know in fact that Voyager was
Really?
like yeah, like Star Trek TNG and DS9 kind of overlapped, so a lot of TNG fans just watch DS9.
Okay.
And then I know Voyager overlapped with DS9 a little bit, but I know that there's like when cuz I kind of like took a break from Star Trek cuz life happened and I started dating and all these things, right? But like I
The
remember
Voyager disrespect.
clearly I remember clearly going, wow, there's a ton of people who love Voyager and can't stop talking about it. And they talk about it like it's their first Star Trek. And so I was like very impressed with that. And so I've always like, that's why I respect Voyager fans, even if I'm showing huge disrespect by not having seen
It's the only
the
damn
full
show that you
show.
can't finish. Ah,
And then comes the Kelvin films. That's another big entry
you
point. A lot
watched
of people
12
talk about.
Monkeys and what, like, took you, like, what, 2 days to finish, like, 4 seasons, basically?
I
The
watched
man
12
can't
Monkeys
finish
in like
Voyager.
it was like a month. It was a whole month. It was a month. And then Discovery is the next entry point. So I would call those the like the biggest entry points of Star Trek were those things. And I guess you get kind of call the films an entry point too because honestly I think a lot of folks discovered Star Trek through the Star Trek films.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the
So
the
there's a
Abr-
lot of entry
the Abrams
points.
films, the Abrams films, I think, well, the Abrams
Yeah,
films, the Kelvin timeline, I
right.
think brought in quite a lot of people.
No, but also even the TOS films, I would say,
Did they?
brought in a lot of
Okay.
yeah, I would yeah, especially Star Trek 4. I remember that's when like people who used to make fun of Star
The
Trek were
best
all of a
Star
sudden
Trek
like
film.
yeah. Yeah, Star Trek 4 brought a ton of new folks into Star Trek and I think from there like yeah, so yeah. These are just my opinions by the way from my memory because I'm not as old as the TOSers, but I'm definitely a
The
TNGer.
tosses? Oh no, sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Random Menaces Gen X for the win. I agree. We're a really cool generation. What's your generation again, Toddy?
Me?
Yeah, what are you
Am I
again?
not
Are
a
you a
millennial?
millennial?
I
I
would
thought
think
you were
so.
like the next one after that, but
The
yeah,
next
maybe
one
you're a
after
millennial.
that, I don't
Did you
know.
get glasses? Where are your glasses? Why don't you hold them up?
No. Okay. Well, okay. Well, side note. Today we were supposed to stream earlier this morning, but it turns out we stream now because
I'm
my
glad we didn't because
my
then we wouldn't
appointment
have
got
this.
pushed up.
Yeah.
But no, oh yeah, it's true. If we had streamed earlier, there wouldn't have been the Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get glasses. I need them, but not really. So
Oh,
my
okay.
my my vision is fine, except for when like I'm tired and it's like getting dark. You know what I mean? I have a little
You should wear those blue light blockers because you probably spend a lot of time in front of a computer, don't you?
not as much as I should.
You edit.
Bec-
You're an editor.
yeah, but I do
You
that. I
should
do.
be.
I still
Yeah.
work. I'm like 50 hours a week present at my job, and I'm not in front of the screen over
Oh,
there.
gotcha. That's true.
So
That's a good point.
I am on my phone quite a bit when I'm at home though. So maybe that has a thing. I
By the way,
should wear
there's nine
like
people
special
watching.
goggles, and they don't care
10
about
people
this. Is that what you're
watching.
saying?
No, I'm saying yeah, we should go back on topic because they're probably like, oh my god. But also, if you guys don't mind hitting a like and subscribe,
You-
it's usually not like this. He usually has very professional videos on his
What?
channel.
How dare you? I have all right videos. They're fine. They're fun. Come and watch them. Let's get back. I have a final thing that I want to ask you about Section 31 before we
Section
can jump
31.
into yeah. Um,
Strange new
what
world.
kind of movie are you expecting? Are you expecting like an action kind of thing, or are you expecting maybe like a spy thriller?
Well, with Michelle Yeoh
Um,
involved, I'm definitely hoping they'll capitalize on her acrobatic skills,
her fighting
uh,
abilities.
her fighting abilities. But I would imagine that the thing that would probably thrill me the most is a kind of a like that there's a possibility
A
that Section
Jason
31
Bourne kind of thing.
there's a possibility that Section 31 is going to be a time travel show, like a Lost in Time type of show. Maybe, I don't know. What happens to her? Where does he send her? The last time we saw Giorgio, where does Giorgio get sent to? Did I don't remember if it was told.
From my memory, she gets sent back to a time and place which was closer to her. So they couldn't send her back to the mirror universe, but
Okay, so she's gonna
she
be
could be sent, but she
okay,
was sent back to like her time,
but
but
close to the mirror
in the
universe,
prime
right?
timeline, basically.
So
So
this is
back
cool
to Discovery
because
time, basically.
yeah, so that's cool because look what's happening in the Discovery time is Strange New Worlds. So there's
Hmm.
possibilities for a reunion with Anson Mount.
I would like
Wow,
her to
I'm getting
meet.
more excited. The more I'm
I
talking
would
about,
like
I should
I would
stop talking
like
about it because I'm
Emperor
getting too
Giorgio
hype.
to talk to Philippa Giorgio,
Yeah, me too.
because
Because
I
also
feel a
there's
little
probably
robbed. We didn't get it like a Philippa, because she was like
it'd be
she was on that list of most decorated
yeah,
captains
that's right. I love her too. I That's what got me mad about Discovery.
that they
I
killed
was like
Philippa in like 2 episodes.
they presented us with this like awesome show that was very Star Trek. It had a lot of
Yeah,
differences aesthetically, but I was like they were doing all the right things, that
yeah.
everything, like it had a lot of Star Trekking going on. And then it turned into like
They
I ended up
rebooted it.
loving it.
They
I
rebooted
ended
it
up
two
loving
episodes in.
I ended up loving it, but it was very hard to love Discovery season 1. Uh and
Well,
then
there
I
was a
loved Discovery after that.
heartbreak,
But yeah.
wasn't there? There
It
was
was
in
a
like
heartbreak. Yeah, it was like a real
it was like,
heartbreak.
oh
So
my
yeah.
god, we're getting this,
And to this
and then they
yeah.
did that. But hey,
And to this day I'm like, why can't we get flashbacks? Like, take advantage of Michelle Yeoh before she goes off on this like, stellar career. But no. But I do hope that they I don't know if like I don't know how if developed the story is, but if you guys are hearing this, like maybe give us a flashback to Philip Giorgio in the movies. It'd be nice. The captain, rather, I should say. The primetime. They're both
yeah.
Philippa Giorgio, but I
Well, I call the other one
not
the
yeah.
Emperor.
The Emperor. Yeah, it's true.
This is the Emperor Jojo, and then there's Philippa
but
Jojo.
but aside from that, like I always imagine like for some reason that she, because the Guardian of Forever says that at some point the Federation uh, used it for time travel purposes, and so I wondered if Giorgio, like when it was a series idea, some of the thoughts that I had personally about it or questions was like, would Giorgio, would the Emperor try to get back to the mirror universe, like, or would
Mm.
she want to like what would she do in stuck in this time? Like I don't think she would be. Also, you can just easily cure her condition and then it's a non-issue. I'm just saying they could write in
A
that
cure.
like
Yeah, they can
a
do that.
cure.
They can do
Yeah,
whatever the
and then
hell they
it's a
want.
non-issue.
They killed
Like
Data twice, but they wrote him back. It's fine. Just write things the way you want. They wrote Picard into an android, and then they were like, whatever, we'll write him so that he's like an android that'll die like a human. It's okay.
it's okay.
You write whatever the hell you want. They are
Yes.
the makers and the keepers of the canon. Are they not?
But it's not going to work for everyone, but I loved it. I was like really pleased because it's a concept that in science fiction that I love. We're going back to Picard, Todd.
Okay,
Look at this.
you think it'll be a time travel thing, the Section 31.
I'm hoping it
And
will
if
be
that's
a
the
time travel
case,
thing.
I would like them to address like all of the time wars and like the temporal
Or yeah,
things that, because Enterprise kind of like went into that quite a lot. And then all of a sudden, Discovery season, was it season 3, started kind of addressing that when we had like what was his name, the time traveling dude, like they showed us the time traveling man.
oh, your
Yor. So
he's
I
from
should
the
remember.
Kelvin timeline
Yes,
actually,
but like
but he landed in the TNG
so
era, which is
Discovery was
kind
kind
of
of kind of, no, he wasn't. Yeah, he was from the TN no, he was from like the Kelvin
he's
TNG
Kelvin
era.
TNG. Yeah.
Yeah, and then anyway, it's very
He
interesting
was a
that
time he was a refugee from the Kelvin universe into the prime time universe, whatever, into the main
Mhm.
universe, whatever you want to call it. and he landed in the TNG era, and that's why
No,
the not yes, that's why the
no,
not yeah. Go back and watch it. That
no.
Kovic says
I
it. Yes, Kovic
It
says
is
it.
no.
That's why he's
He
wearing
was
the
from
thing.
the TNG era, but Kelvin timeline.
No, incorrect. I mean,
You
yes, but the
there you
uniform
go.
he was wearing, he came into the TNG era in the prime timeline as well, and the uniform he like blended in. The uniform he was wearing
Oh,
was
okay.
our because they're not the Kelvin timeline's not going to have the same uniform.
Well, you
I
don't know
can
that.
guarantee you that. No, I do know they're not
How do you know that? We haven't seen it on
because
screen.
James
He's the
McAvoy
you're
plays
the only one.
James James McAvoy plays Picard in that
You're is the
uniform.
only proof.
That's the
Regardless,
only thing I'll accept.
Discovery did address kind of like the temporal wars.
James
Um,
McAvoy or bust.
and Enterprise was diving into it. It would be fun to see like a reprise of that kind of story. Maybe we could even figure out who's the mystery man is, right?
You mean the oh yeah, dude from yeah. Yes. There's so many opportunity if it becomes a time travel movie event like what I was the
Who's the
reason I was
mystery villain funding like this the Sullivan?
that's we never find out.
I know we never find out.
Everyone thinks it's Kovic.
Yeah, that's okay. That's a theory now. Originally, it was supposed to be Archer.
Archer, yeah, yeah, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
like
glad
that.
they yeah, I don't like it either.
Yeah,
But speaking of which, Alex Kurtzman also said something about
that's
like
it.
a
He's the
big
mystery man,
he is the mystery.
Alex Kurtz.
He said something about a big crossover event that they wanted to do or would like to do. Is that something I'm remembering wrong or no?
Yes, they did mention that at some point. I don't know how. Like, see, because when they talk about these plans, they talk about these plans, and then things change because they talk about them when they're in the creative process of something. So he said that sometime before we got the big Synthulu thing at the end of Picard season one. So I wonder if like that was supposed to be like a big bad or something, or was it before the end of season two? Maybe like whatever the Borg Girardi, the Borg Girardi, they're protecting like an orifice of some kind in
I think that
space.
was a. I think it's clear now that that was like something the writers of Picard did so that that Borg would maybe be doing something else during season three.
Just not in the way.
But I like it. I think it's important that there's a guardian at the gate, and that's the thing that if we're gonna we're going way off topic. If we're gonna get a
We'll
continuation of
jump
the
into
twenty
it.
fifth
We'll jump into it.
20 the 25th century, then you could definitely go back to that. But it
These could all be
what
Section 31 operations
something
anyway,
that
so we're
Jerry
technically
Ryan
off on
tweeted
topic.
something that Jerry Ryan tweeted kind of changed my stance and perspective on a lot of things because I think I was getting excited and always wanting like this and like why can't this actor be in this and why can't that actor be in that? Like people online, and it's from a good place. It's like obviously from a good place if you want your favorite character to have more screen time, right? But
Fair
like
enough.
I'm trying to like mellow out a little bit and rein in my expectations because Jerry Ryan said like what if she just didn't have the time and didn't want to do it, like why, like just because it's like your big deal doesn't make it her big deal, and it doesn't have to be her big deal. What I mean? So now I'm like, okay, I want Archer, I want this, I want that, but
Appreciate what you
and there's
get,
a budget too. Yeah,
Starfleet Sohail.
not
Appreciate
not
what you
not
get.
just not
Don't
just appreciate
lament
it,
what
but
you didn't get.
yes, and I often lament what I didn't get. So now I'm trying to be more appreciative of what I
Look at
get.
what Picard season 3 is, my man.
No, in
Come on.
Picard's case, I'm sold hook, line,
There's
and
no
sinker. It's all
lamenting.
the other, yeah, it's all the other Star Treks that I
Oh,
lament.
that's all the other ones.
Yeah, it's true. Star Trek Picard's perfect.
We're very lucky in a
So
sense
far.
because, like, so we're unlucky in a certain sense that, like, many actors have now passed. Even in more recent shows like Deep Space Nine, we've had quite a lot of loss there. But we are still very lucky to be like we have creatives like Aaron, that's able
Walkie.
to, yeah, Aaron Walke, that's able to like bring back Odo and these characters in like such respectful ways. And they're able to like honor their memory, honor like the characters and the actors as well. So it's great. I think we're still very lucky in that front. So I'm happy. Be happy with what you
Excellent.
get.
I have to just put myself on mute for a second. I'll be right back.
Oh
Well,
my
it's gonna be
goodness.
probably like a minute. I'll be back in a minute.
Am I
You have to
allowed to
talk.
play? Am I allowed to play the Strange New Worlds trailer on this
I
stream?
think
I
you'll.
wouldn't.
I think you'll get stopped, but you could put images up from it and talk about. Oh, why don't you go through like pause it and then just
I'll,
like talk about
I'll go through
like.
some images while you're
Well, I'm
absent.
yeah. This is a good transition to Strange New Worlds. I love it. Perfect.
Be gone, sir. All right. How am I gonna do this? Boom. Okay. Hold on. There we go. All right. So while we wait for the man to come back, we'll go through some Strange New Worlds pictures here. I do have the trailer. You can go and check out the trailer on the Twitter and on the YouTube. Do be careful; some of them are region blocked, but there are versions available for people that are outside of the US. There's a couple of big things that I want to talk about, and there's a couple of big things that I think we will discuss. You'll see as we get there. So, Strange New Worlds, it opens up. It's got this poppy kind of, how should I put this? Very modern, kind of contemporary music to it. I think that's what Star Trek has kind of gone into now. I'm not the biggest fan of like the pop music being used for Star Trek. I like it when it stays orchestral, but it is what it is. How did you guys feel about what was revealed behind the red door? Okay, that's big pick out spoilers. I don't know if we'll jump into that. I'm gonna try and keep it to Strange New Worlds now. All right. Ortegas and Chapel, such badass characters. Yes, everyone is pretty badass in this. Um, so we have this character. Where is she? She's new. I don't know who she is. I feel maybe a bit stupid. Maybe I'm supposed to know who this character is. Maybe she's a character from like the original series or something, but I don't know. Maybe Sohail will be able to tell us. That's a big thing. We've seen her pop up 2 or 3 times. Ortegas
Wait,
is
the
great.
lady that lady is
He's back.
Carol
He's just
Kane. Oh, I'm always I've been here. I just have to do something that requires my focus, but I'm
Carol
listening.
Kane.
So, Carol Kane, and she's the new engineer. She replaced Hemmer.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Well, I'm intrigued to see what happens. I wonder if she's gonna be like grumpy, kind of like a Pulaski thing, or if she's gonna be like fun. So big
I
things
think
getting
she's gonna be fun. Oh, look, I'm here, kind of.
yeah, kind of big
I should
things
just
getting
you just
big
can't see my
things getting
face because my eyes are
exploded.
focused on something.
Big things are
By the
getting
way, I love the use of the phaser there. That's like a really great way of using the phaser. Like, and
this.
also they're like, yeah, and the phasers look so good. Like, if you're gonna update, kind of like phasers and keep them like in line with like the way the technology worked in the original series, I think this is a good representation. They did maneuvers like this on the original series all the time, but you never really saw it. It was always just you heard it, like you heard the phasers firing. You know what I mean? So it's like if they had the budget, they would have done it, and now we're
the
seeing the things that they're doing, which
the
is
original
exciting.
series remastered. The original series remastered does kind of like a job in terms of this kind of scene. Like in the original series, you often would either, like as you say, you would hear it, or they would vaguely show you like a scene where like the ship is just kind of like floating off to the
Right, or they
side.
would describe what's happening on a map, and you would see like
Yeah.
little blips, and things like that. Yeah, exactly.
With the remastered version, they were able to give like the ships, because they basically took out all of the scenes and then they redid all the visual effects, and they had like a 3D model of like the ship that they could actually move around and such. And so they would always try to make more dynamic. They would choose more dynamic camera angles. Try to place the ship in like more dynamic, kind of like situations. And so I think it was closer to this, but this is, yes, a more accurate representation of what I think they were truly trying to do back with the original series. It's always that finding that balance though, where like you don't want to make the show too much about like these kind of action kind of pieces, and make it more about the characters and the science that gets you to this. So here we have this is one of my favorite shots from the trailer. We have the three divisions, the three colors, our three officers looking awesome as hell. Three of them look badass. I do
They
apologize.
do.
I do apologize for the quality of this, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, no, they look great. I'm loving the colors. We're on a strange new world. I'm
Is the
assuming.
tunic different this season? Oh, it might be a little. Is there a V-neck now? Was there
Yeah,
not a
there's a.
V-neck last?
I don't
Maybe it's
remember. I'm
different.
not good enough
There.
for the, but they still have the colors on the rank down there,
Oh
which
yeah. Hmm.
I would rather them all be gold. But hey, that's what it is.
Okay, I see.
This I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if this is like this seems like a very loving kind of look here, but I don't know what's going on here.
It could. It. You mean like if there's like something romantic going on or
Yeah,
something?
it looks a bit like it.
Really? It's. It could
You
just be
don't.
like relief that they're saved. I don't know.
I mean, it
I
could
didn't
be.
read that.
We have no
I didn't.
context.
we have no. We have no context.
We have
This
no context.
is
This
insanity right here. Didn't that happen in didn't didn't that happen in a movie, a Star Trek movie that we saw?
that happened in a Star Trek movie that we saw. I mean, this happened in Gravity.
No, this happened in Beyond, Star Trek Beyond. The Enterprise was destroyed except for so this I'm guessing this is not the Enterprise. I'm guessing it's another ship cuz like or a dream sequence or whatever. It
Yeah, well, this is the thing with trailers. Trailers can be very misleading. Like this could
yeah.
be anything. This could be like, this could be one of those Picard time loop things where like he has to destroy the
Yeah.
ship, whatever it is, and
But
it
those are
keeps on
definitely Gorn
repeating.
ships back there. So this is a Gorn episode. So this might be a Gorn attack. I'm
Well, I think
back.
oh, he's back for real. I think there's a go on later on.
Oh, I have to
Uh,
go again.
so
I'll be like
yeah,
voice only for. Sorry.
it's the return. It's the return of Jimmy Boy,
Jimmy James
Jimmy
T Kirk.
Jimmy James T or R, depending on what gravestone you're looking at. Kirk. He's back. I don't necessarily want uh Kirk to play like I mean, I guess he's gonna be like a recurring character, but I don't really necessarily need him to be around for the show. But we'll see what they do with him.
I'm guessing that they're gonna make him more a part of the show, and I think they're gonna do something clever with how he and Pike kind of keep a distant relationship.
Mm.
So I think that we see Pike going off on adventures in a shuttlecraft or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Pike light episode where Kirk beams aboard the Enterprise, interacts with number one, which is totally acceptable because number one doesn't continue into um, the original series, right?
Hmm.
So, and that's just a guess from the trailer, but I like that. So they're doing a good job, in my opinion, of playing with the established lore in the original series. Like, and I always said that that would be a way that because you might not need any more Kirk, but I want Kirk all the time. Like, so that would be a way to please the Kirk, the Kirk people.
Well, I guess if you want to keep like interactions between Kirk himself and like Uhura, Spock, people from the original series, you could actually send like Pike, Uhura, Spock, except all of these TOS characters, you could send them off like on a mission or
on
whatever it
on
is,
adventures, yeah.
and
And
then
then Kirk
Kirk,
happens to
he's
it's
with
like a
number
thing, yeah.
one, he's with Ortegas,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's what's the new engineer's name you said?
I don't remember the name of the character, but it's Carol Kane is the name of the actor.
Okay, so okay, I wonder if she's gonna be on, or if it's gonna be like every season we have a new engineer
That
type thing.
it might be too. And also the thing that puzzles me that I want to know what the show is gonna do with is that like Kirk know once they figure out who Khan is, and if I remember, I have to watch Space Seed again. But once they figure out who Khan is, like it just feels like he knows a Noonien Singh, like he knows a descendant of Khan. So I want to know how they're gonna tie that into like I don't know. It just felt like Khan was. I have to watch Space Seed again, but I want to know how
No,
they're gonna like tie
I
it in.
think I'm not sure. I couldn't. I would correct you, but I don't know. But from what I understand, from what I remember, is simply that like Khan was such a big deal that he was kind of like, of course we know about Khan. Like, how would anyone like not
Oh,
know
that's
about
what it
like
was.
Khan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's cool. All
So in
right.
this scene, there's a bit of a comment where she's like, "I can feel the energy that's going on here," and so is that like a romantic thing? Uh,
Oh, you
or
know what's interesting also is that like number one is in the scene, so that tells me they're gonna wrap up the whole number one thing pretty quickly. Or maybe at but at some point in the season it's gonna be
mm,
wrapped up. Like, but I have a suspicion it's early,
mm,
because that was the
okay,
cliffhanger, right? So they have to kind of continue, I guess. Like it was number one being taken away.
yeah,
Uh, Yeah, it's interesting, but I'm kind of pleased with that. And there's a court bell. Did you see the bell scene where they're ringing the bell? So we're gonna
yes,
get a courtroom scene, which is really exciting as
yes, we're
well.
gonna get a
Yeah.
courtroom episode. So I'm hype about the courtroom episode, and then I'm hype about Legal Eagle doing doing it doing a video about the courtroom episode.
That's pretty
Uh,
funny.
June 15th is when this thing is coming out. I don't know. Had they already announced the date? I feel like they had already announced the date. But this planet here, like these visuals, I love it. Um, I really love the whole. I mean, this is I guess kind of like Avatar for those who play Magic the Gathering. It feels like Zendikar, but like it's. I like this whole high kind of cliff, like a rock aesthetic that they've got going on with almost like floating cities or cities built up high. So new worlds. I want to explore new worlds. I want to do first contact missions. This is Pike on his like shuttle assignment. I guess that's what you're saying.
I'm just getting. They're probably
And
not
here we
related at
go.
all, but I'm just saying like that's one way to for Kirk to like never really meet Pike, or meet him
Yeah.
not a lot. Yeah.
Howdy, howdy, Father is in the
And
audience.
hey, Father, nice to see you. And also, it could also be that Kirk, like maybe Pike knows he's not supposed to meet Kirk, and maybe Pike avoids him
Mm,
also on purpose, which would also be okay, actually, because
mm.
we know that Pike knows the future. Oh, I like
So
that.
here we have Spock.
Hot Spock, very hot Spock.
I'm assuming I'm assuming
Howdy, Father.
he's drinking alcohol or blood wine or something, which isn't something that Vulcans traditionally do. But I think for the sake of like I guess like first contact or maybe getting along
Wait,
culturally speaking with
don't
someone.
you? I think Vulcans have some kinds of alcohol. I'm
I
pretty sure
don't
they
think
do.
so. I think they don't. But the reason why I'm
What?
saying this is because boom,
I know we got the
we
Klingon.
got this dude.
He's awesome. That's an awesome new Klingon, new era Klingon. It's an interesting
So he has
ridge
like a
thing. And actually, look, it's
he's got the
father. No, I'm
sash.
just kidding. Sorry.
He's got like this old school kind of like sash that they had like in the original series, right? They had like the
And I like, yeah, and
but
but
it's
like
colored
it,
like Worf's one.
and he's got the kind of ornate armor that the
Discovery
disco
ones, yeah.
Klingons had, which but it looks badass on him. like
Absolutely.
like that one there, that armor looks pretty cool because you could see it kind of evolving into what we get in the next generation.
Mm.
So that's pretty cool. I have a guess. Are we allowed to theorize and
You
guess?
go ahead. That's I mean, yeah.
They're gonna introduce this as the emerging Klingon sect disguise people. These like whoever his Klingons are. And we're gonna get a really interesting story, I think, about how the Klingons, have all these different looks and like why that disappears by TNG.
So you think they're going to actually address this head on, talk about it,
I think one of the reasons why
get
the
into it?
Federation probably is at odds with the Klingons is I think that the Klingons are always at war with each other at this point, and they're probably
Hmm.
committing genocide, like wiping out like subspecies or variations of Klingons.
Oh
And
dear
so
God.
I think that's why they're darker. That brings them to, but they kind of admit to doing that already on the show. Like the Klingons are always like saying like, "Oh, they're a warrior class race." Like it's interesting to look at it. It's interesting that they're how they set it up in Star Trek, but that's nothing to them. They talk Kalis, I think, wipes out like, his adversaries completely. Like that
Mm.
that's their whole thing is but and then they of course are conquerors as well. So the Klingons are already. I like making the Klingons really bad again, kind of in a way. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
yeah,
Especially considering in this era, like we're sitting around the original series era, so sometime, like I think it's like maybe a decade before the original series picks up. Um, they were terrible, people, like in the original series, right? Because that's what they were supposed to be. Like in the original series, they were not portrayed to be like as we saw them in the Next Generation. They were supposed to be villains. They were supposed to be evil and bad. Um, and that's what they did with them in Discovery. I feel like.
well, I feel like, and I like it. I do feel like we got to see the most development of Klingons ever in Discovery, in terms of like their just their like language and stuff like they were always
Well,
talking
their
in
culture,
Klingon, which was,
maybe,
yeah,
yeah.
their culture. That's what I want to say. That, thank you. Yeah, I guess TNG does a pretty good job, but I don't know. It felt monoculture, like a
Yes.
monoculture, and Discovery, like especially when we go to the Klingon homeworld and there's an Orion district, that like made it really interesting to me. But again, these Klingons may be opposed to that kind of
They might
life,
be.
and that's why they become later on the way that they are in TNG.
So
You know
you've
what I
kind of
mean? Like,
answered my question because I was gonna
yeah.
ask. I was gonna ask. Do we think they're actually going to write answers into like the dialogue and the script and into the episodes, or do you think they're just gonna play it? Because there are two ways of doing this. There's either you really address like what has happened with the Klingon, or you just casually drop like these kind of Klingons in an episode and don't really explain why they look like that. And then
Both would be fine
ultimately,
because,
both is
yeah,
fine
go ahead.
because
Yeah.
eventually it weaves itself into like a story, right? Because here we're
Right.
looking at I'm gonna say an original series spinoff, not a Next Generation spinoff. I know that doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. Like we're sitting like the
Right.
original
Right.
series era more than the TNG one, but we're sitting with like now this is a TNG looking Klingon. And like so basically from like Discovery to Strange New Worlds to the original series, at this point we've had three different styles of Klingons.
Mm-hmm.
And we can all make that work. We can all connect the dots and figure out what's going on, especially with like certain things that have been established in like Enterprise. So
Right.
we can like figure out what's going on by
I
ourselves. But I
like
was just
that. You
wondering
know,
if they were eventually just going to, there's like a tapestry that they're creating here.
and I really
Um,
like that because, I think that that's cool because as you discover more Star Trek, you're gonna kind of be like, oh wow, look at this new information about the Klingons that I didn't know. Like it's kind of a
hmm.
cool thing for new folks, and then for folks that are like, oh my gosh, like what is the state of the politics
They
and
could go nuts with it though. Like these Klingons here, they could just like they could lift up severed heads of all of the Discovery Klingons that we saw and be like these Ptah, you
I
know,
know it could be
and
like
like
that, or the disco Klingons maybe go to another region, of space. Maybe they
mm,
leave. They
mm.
decide they're okay. We're gonna go off to the Delta Quadrant or whatever, and who knows? Like it'd be
Father is
an
being
interesting thing.
technical on me. He doesn't recognize the term TNG Klingon. Are you talking about the
Sorry,
motion picture
he's
Klingons?
he's
Ah,
correctly. Father is correctly and kindly
the
stating
film
the
era Klingons, are they?
I would argue back. I would just rebut and say that TNG used them way more than TOS though, so they kind of own the Klingons of that look
I would say I would
more.
say TNG cemented that look.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, so there you
Father Reed, you watched the
go. Is
Arrowverse, and
this
you know
Star
how
Trek 3
time works.
erasure? Oh my
Time
gosh.
travel is explained in Arrowverse as like you do a time change, and it changes, but it isn't the cement hasn't set yet. It has
By the
to,
way,
there's a
Toddy,
certain time.
you got to promote Fathery's stream. Text Trek is going on tonight. He's a spy actually. He's listening to what
I
we're
don't
saying,
I
so he
don't,
does.
I don't got to do
Like, no, I'm
anything I
just
don't want
kidding.
to do.
No, he's going on at 6. Sorry, no, 7
Everyone go
Central. So
watch
that's
go
8
watch Text
p.m.
Track. He did a
8
great
p.m. Eastern.
he had a great discussion about Section 31 yesterday, by the
31.
way.
Yeah. So this one will be focused on Strange New Worlds. DS9 owns it. Then their Klingon makeup was more consistent than TNG. Hmm. That's interesting.
Who said that?
You'll have to
Oh
discuss
yeah,
that
okay.
with Fathery and the audience as you go through slides because I have to answer another message. I'll be back.
My
Hailing
God,
frequencies.
he's
I'm getting
businessman.
hails.
No, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna try and find something really annoying to have you respond anyway. It's fine. I don't know what's going on here. Like I don't know if the ship has been minusculed into like a tiny microscopic thing, and they're like literally flying through like uh, veins, blood cells, or if it's on the contrary, like a very large organism, like a huge organism of some kind, or maybe it's just like a space phenomena. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out when it comes out. I'm assuming here that with like with most trailers for like Strange New Worlds or Star Trek we've had, like these clips would be from like maybe the first episodes. Like I don't think they would show us clips from every single episode right until the last one, the Jelloverse. It does look like the Jelloverse. Hey Joel, how you doing? So Nurse Chapel here. These visuals, they're very striking. It's something that I will say. I adored a lot of the visuals that we've seen in like Discovery and uh, and in Strange New World season one. So this looks stunning. I have to pull up the poster eventually at some point as well because the poster for the damn season looks absolutely great. I'll go and find that later. Now we carry on. Leave your world behind. What is that? What is that? Is that a Klingon thing? Is this Ruapente? I don't know what this
Like
symbol is
Rura
here.
Pente of old. That looks like a Federation thing.
It could be Ruapente. I don't know. Maybe. Fight sequence, explosions, Uhura. Oh no, we've crashed. Clearly, there's like a time travel thing at one point because. So this might be related to the time travel thing. Are those future buildings or are those present buildings? They could be present buildings because at one point
Oh.
Kirk can't go through like the turning door. He doesn't know what a turning door is, and so maybe that's like they land in the 21st century or something. Um, our dear Doctor going through some trauma again. Man hasn't lived through enough with his the story of his daughter in the first season. Or maybe he lost a patient here, and he just it's killing him inside. Spock's quarters, 50,000 times bigger than what they used to be. Striking visuals. Hit that warp. There he is. The other Kirk, douchebag Kirk, as they made him be in one of those episodes in season one.
I forgot what he did. Oh, he was very rude to Spock. That's right. That's right. He was very bad.
He was
That's
bigot of the week.
Samuel Kirk. Although it's good because it's a character that's a regular, so we can actually explore what's behind that. Kind of like Shaw in Picard. You know what I mean? If he was just like he's not just the bigot of the week, like that guy that got killed, and he's more like
Oh, you're talking about
hey,
like Discovery season two, like the premiere, or
yeah,
whatever
that
it
guy
was,
was
like
just
that.
a lot of
Yeah,
people complained because he was like a flyby villain, but I liked it. I thought the instant gratification was good. It was thrilling.
well, here you have like here you know that he's gonna die, right?
We already know Sam's
We
already
already
gonna
know it.
die.
Before
Yeah,
he even
so we
appeared, he was already dead.
already dead. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting
Slap a
things you could
mustache
do
on the
with
man and kill him, is what they said
it.
in the original series.
It would have been really cool if the same actor did play James T. Kirk, though, because that's how it was in the show, if I'm not
Yeah, that would have
mistaken.
been very fun, actually. But
So,
at least this enables, like, I guess, both actors to give, like, varied performances. You get two true different characters out of it. Not saying
right.
that one actor can't do two performances. I think some people in Star Trek have proven that they can very well do multiple characters, even though they're the same actor.
I missed a bunch because I actually wasn't paying attention to, and I apologize. So if there
That's
was
fine.
anything that you wanted my commentary on, just go back to it.
No, I think these are very like.
Look, this is that same episode where where we saw the exterior earlier
Hmm.
of the saucer section, just like in
Well,
Star
that's what I
Trek
was
Beyond,
saying. I was saying I
and with
think
the
that
Gorn ships. I think it was a Gorn attack episode.
I
Anyways, go on.
think
Sorry.
that most of what we're seeing here is coming from like the first episodes, or if not the first episodes, at least the first half. Like I don't think they would reveal big things from like the final episodes just yet. I don't know if they're
The,
finished on like post production with with all the VFX.
Here's a really wild and crazy
You think
guess.
this is like the finale?
Well, what if that's how they explain the way the Enterprise looks different in TOS?
Wow, it blew the fuck up.
Yeah, or like was destroyed in some way, and we already have a precedence now of bringing back to life
So, do you think they're still
a
gonna do that?
starship.
Do you still think that Strange New Worlds are eventually gonna transition either slowly
If
or
I'm not
rapidly
mistaken, that's
into
what
what?
they say
I know, but they say
at
so
the
many
show. I know.
things. They
I don't
lie
hold
all
you.
the time. Okay,
Yes,
lying
it's
may
true.
be big, but my
And
boy
when we say
Kurtzman
they,
says
like
things.
the press releases and like the
Yeah,
rumors.
when we
Yeah,
say
that's
the
what
people
everyone's
that are in
thinking.
charge and the people that are communicating on behalf of these Star Trek shows, they will say things and then they don't do the things. Things
Right.
change, all right? I'm not, let's not say that they're lying outright, but like things change, plans change, you know what I mean? Whatever. But that's why I would rather just wait until like the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the moment they're giving us like they've told us all the ingredients for the recipe, but they haven't yet baked the cake yet. You know what I mean?
Oh, and it's nice to see Joel in the audience. How's it going, Joel? And then
But you could be
we have
right.
to
This could be a
what?
way to like kind of get rid of certain parts of the ship and slowly
Or
start
upgrade them.
reconstructing the ship
Yeah.
to
Or
slowly
upgrading
make
it,
it look,
yeah.
yeah.
Like
And
the
then
TO because the TOS ship would be an upgrade to this ship
by the
somehow.
end of the show, they can have that whole thing where like how they used to talk about like the old naval vessels, like we've changed every plank, but it's still the same ship.
Yep.
They could
Well,
they could
that's
do like
already, yeah, the ship of Theseus.
they could do the similar thing. Like we've changed every a hull panel. You know what I mean? And every
Except the
piece.
Scorch, Toddy. The Scorch is the only thing that goes from ship to ship.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the one piece that
Is
goes
the
from ship to ship.
So what's the one piece on the Enterprise? What's the one piece on the Enterprise?
The Scorch, remember from last season? The Scorch, what Leon and number one were signing.
Oh my goodness! Look at this. Hit me
What
up
is
for
this,
some behind
Toddy?
the hit me up for some behind the scenes tea I can't spill in public about Trek showrunners not doing what they say they will do.
Oh, that's just funny. That's so true. That's everyone though. That's why I kind of don't pay attention to that stuff and just
People,
enjoy the show.
people get fired
Like,
weekly. Come on, don't worry about it.
I know. But it is important. It is important to deliver what you're gonna say, but at the same time, we can't hold these guys and gals accountable. Like, who knows? What if a show's canceled in the middle of like
I'll
something
say
you're supposed to do?
okay.
It's like,
I'll say this. All right. I'll say this. It's not my job or our job to hold anyone accountable. Like, you know what I
well, it's
mean?
true.
If
It's a show. It's
If Viacom CBS has a problem with the way that like the teams that they have running Star Trek are doing things, then they will address that, and they can address that internally, and they can do. You know what I mean?
I do think though this is getting
Everything is
into a
probably run
tricky
by.
area, but I just
Hmm.
want to put the disclaimer that like there are occasions where like it is indeed prudent or pertinent to call out behavior, but not related to the show, related to like other
Hmm.
things.
Yeah.
So it's not to say that like people in Hollywood are above reproach or critique, but I'm very forgiving of of like showrunners saying they're going to do something and then it doesn't happen. There's so many factors that we've
Yeah.
learned,
There's so much going on.
so much going on that it's impossible to keep those promises sometimes. But there's the bell. It's from TOS too. I think it's the
That's
same.
why
I love it.
the pad is not. But I appreciate like the way that they've kind of like redesigned these original series things.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't
It's
really
another
care
badass
if we.
shot. Number one's got those Vulcan eyebrows in this one.
Oh yeah, why?
I don't
It's
know.
interesting. I think the uniforms are different. Father has
There
an
it
eye for that
is.
kind of stuff.
Is this? That's gone.
Yeah, you can clearly see it's Gorn there.
So that looks like closer to the
What
Gorn
were
from
Enterprise?
Enterprise.
I
Yes.
know. That's interesting.
So that's interesting. It also does look like a shot from Alien.
It does
Um,
indeed. But I don't think the Gorn will have a second mouth.
no, I don't think so.
But it's 100% evocative of aliens. But the Gorn in Strange New Worlds have been.
Mm.
Like, that's kind of like the thing they're.
Well, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
they're kind of going
Yeah.
for.
Oh, this thing's cool. Is that like Space Dock?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it
so.
is.
But
It's
they
no,
have
it's
look.
the sorry, it's the Jupiter one. It's the one at
Yeah,
Jupiter.
they have
Yeah,
the little plants and everything in there. There's like a beach in there. That's so cool.
yeah. So we'll go
So
back to Jupiter
great,
Station. That's cool.
great visuals. Of course, like the quality of what we're showing here doesn't look good. Of course, when the show comes out and everything will be like 1000K, as you like to watch them, it'll all look stunning.
I do like to watch it at 1000K. Whatever the maximum K you can give, I'm gonna watch it in that K.
He'll take the K.
I'll take the K. Goodness, that sounds terrible.
Here we have Spock saying his thing because he's getting that peer pressure, and can you hear the beep beep beep, or is that just on my end? Okay, wait.
I didn't hear a beep beep beep.
Okay, that's good then. Yeah, Ortega's here is like, yo, Spock, you got to say the thing.
This is very funny. Yeah.
You have to say the thing, and so see.
Father's right. That was Starbase 1. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, that's SB1. Jupiter
So
Station is.
you have to say the thing. Every captain has a thing. They all say, hit it, punch it, engage, make it so.
And Father heard your beep beep beep. I totally derailed your like cute.
I was wondering where that's coming from. It almost sounds like anyway. Whatever.
Is it me?
No, I think it was my phone. I threw my phone far
okay.
away because I think my phone was having interference with the.
All right, my attention is back to you, sir. I'm not looking at the chat. I'm looking at you. Go ahead.
And then so we have this dramatic zoom to like, what is Spock gonna say? And nothing can prepare you for how ill-equipped he is to say it. Because even in your mind, as you're thinking of terrible things to say, he makes it worse, and he says it worse. And so Uhura, she's loving it. She's loving how cringe it is.
It's so cringe. It's so beautiful. I love it. It's perfect. That was hilarious. I was cracking up at this scene. Now I want the ship to go now.
Dear God. And so the ship goes. It goes now.
It does
go. And there we go. And then we get our title sequence, Strange New Worlds. Going.
I think we missed the Klingon
now,
ship. Did you show the Klingon ship?
You
missed it. Go back to the Klingon ship.
No. Look,
okay.
There's
there's so much more. What do you?
There's
we missed all this
Jim
too.
Kirk. He's incapable of turning in a circle. So clearly they're on like 21st century or whatever it is here. They've gone back in time. That
looks like normal times back there. So that's really interesting that we're gonna have a time travel type, or it could be.
So is this Toronto?
It could also be.
This
it's Toronto. But Toddy, we've seen on TOS lots of times planets that are parallels to Earth. So this could be one of those planets.
Space Toronto.
It could be one of those planets where their development is very similar to Earth, but
look
now
at that.
There it is. There's the Klingon ship. Where is it?
This is the Klingon ship?
Yeah, that's it. That's the Klingon. Look at how cool it is.
Oh, yes, it is.
That is the one from Discovery, by the way. It might be different. That's the Trek yards. They'll break this down.
They'll dissect it down. But this is probably you're right. This is probably the one that they had the whole
D7.
They're like, I'm presenting you this new ship thing, and we'll deploy this fleet wide. And this is probably what they're doing. Yeah.
But look at how pretty it is, though. It looks different. Like it looks a little more upgraded, if you will, from the disco effects. Like you see more details in the model, in the digital model here.
Yeah. Hold on. Carry on. Speak.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I wanted to move on to this thing. What is it here?
Oh, hello.
That's giving me mad alien vibes. If I can
Let me
goddamn,
see. Go back to that. Oh
I'm
yeah.
trying. I'm trying.
What
This
is
is
it? You don't have a frame by frame situation? Oh, there it
no.
goes.
There we
There
go.
it
This
is.
is giving me alien vibes. Come on. Am I allowed to throw this up on YouTube, or is that that too horrible?
Throw what up?
This. Am I allowed to put this on YouTube? Can we feature this kind of imagery on YouTube? Probably.
I think it's okay. Oh wow, I love how Canadian you are. I didn't. I would never even have thought of it. I was like, oh, like whatever. Yeah, that's great. That's
It's
very nice,
YouTube.
Sean.
Come on. But no, this is clearly
Well,
like
don't
a.
leave it on the screen for a long
Okay,
time
boom.
because it's
We're
scaring
gone.
me.
We're gone. It's scaring
That's
you.
funny.
We can show a
What
honorable
did I
Klingon
miss
man.
when I was away? What was the earlier part of the trailer? Just skim through the earlier part again, just real quick, and then
Um,
we can stop looking at that
well,
trailer.
we can do like a fake playthrough,
No,
and then
because
I'll
it's
get.
gonna.
No, I
Ah,
won't
it's
get
so
demonetized for this.
pretty.
Impossible. I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it as we go on. It's all Skippy. Okay,
Go.
so look, chatting,
Oh,
chatting in
that's
10
that
forward. Oh no,
lounge.
sorry, my bad.
That's their lounge. Yeah, it's cool. It is like a 10 somewhere maybe. They have those windows now. I don't know what deck it would be
It's
though.
12 behind.
12 behind. Oh, we already
What is
talked about the
this?
phasers.
What is this? That's an
It's
emotion, Spock.
that's
That's
fear.
that's an emotion.
No, that's apprehension, which is not an emotion. It's
Yeah,
an
keep it in
expression.
check, Spock. Keep it in check.
Let's see
Uh,
here. No, I already saw
Aurora
this.
Borealis.
Yeah, sorry. Saw it
He's
already.
seen
Saw
all
it
this.
already.
He's seen all
Yep,
this. He
yeah.
doesn't care.
Where
He's
did I
seen it
tap
all.
out? It was like right
She's
after Kirk, I think. Yeah,
she's
it was like
getting
around here.
the hots for Kirk, as one
All right, this
does.
scene I haven't seen. I haven't talked about this scene,
Well,
but
there's
it's
nothing
cool.
really
It just
happening
looks
here.
cool. It's
It's
very
just a
lavender.
shuttle crash. It's a shuttle crash.
I like how lavender it is. Someone's gonna go back to that scene if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's gonna zoom in on that screen and find out exactly what planet it is and everything, and we're gonna be like, oh my gosh,
This
yeah.
York is gonna zoom in on that,
100%.
and and he's gonna be like, "This is what they said. This is what's going on." Yeah,
Exactly. No, I don't think Yerk does speculation. He just presents.
he just
Um,
presents, but he has. I'm sure he has special equipment where he can zoom and enhance.
yes. This is cool too. It's like an Aztec thing and a weird thing going on in the distance
Yeah.
there. That's cool.
So it is Strange New Worlds. We're visiting different planets. We're visiting different
Planets.
cultures. I like it. Oh wait,
Okay, I
this is a
already
cool
saw this
shot.
scene, yeah.
This is a cool shot. See,
Oh, and there's
he's
another Klingon.
he's drinking his blood wine, or maybe they gave him prune juice. No, he's drinking blood wine.
Yeah, I like
Um,
the barrel. Oh, that's a really great shot. You should
there's plenty of. Well, there's a plastic chair in the back. Why do they got plastic picnic chairs? These Klingons.
that's not. It's a metal chair. I've seen that
You
kind
think
of
it's
chair.
a
It's like
metal
a
chair?
bar. It is still a modern chair, but
Okay.
it's not plastic. Look at that cool alien back
I
there.
don't know
Man.
what this is though. Yeah, I don't know what that looks like. The Narada, if it were an alien. But yeah, I don't know what kind of species that is.
Oh, hey,
This I
GG
was talking
review.
about. I was talking about
Oh yeah,
this.
this I didn't. Yeah, yeah. You were like, "What is this?" I kind of heard you talking about, but I wasn't
Well,
seeing what you're
I
talking
was
about.
saying maybe they've shrunk the ship down to like microscopic, and they're going through like a blood.
That's
Like
probably the same. The same
someone
whatever's
said it
going
was
on with the
Jello.
phasers. Yeah, but it's probably no. I think it's whatever they were phasering in that other scene that I really liked with Ortega's, and now they've broken it up and they're flying through it.
Oh, you think? You
That's
think
what
it's
it looks like.
a giant amoeba again?
No, it's like a rock. It looks like
That's not a
stones.
rock.
Those look.
No.
Yeah,
It's all
look at those.
squishy
Those
and
are
shit.
no, because they're flying really fast. Look, things are hitting it. See the shields?
No,
It's
it's all
they're stretched because of
it's
the.
squishy.
It's
This is Jello.
crystalline. Okay,
It's
whatever.
crystalline.
Yeah, it's crystalline.
This is
That would explain the
pre-crystalline.
weird. Yeah, it's probably dilithium. Maybe they're mining dilithium.
This is the
I
burn.
don't know. This is the burn.
We had the red angel, we had the red door, and now we have the red Jello.
It's not jello. It's definitely crystalline in some fashion or molten. Because remember they were digging through. They were like melting. Oh, that's why it would be jello-y. They were melting that thing kind of, so those rocks would be kind of melty. Yeah, it's true.
I was talking about
This thing
this.
I didn't see. What is that? That's
I don't
crazy.
know, but it looks beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, it does look beautiful.
It
Who's
kind of
that? Who are they?
this is
Can you
Ortega,
tell?
Suhura, and Chapel.
Oh, I see them now. Yep.
Um,
Sorry, it's a
but
little
this
screen. I'm on a little
this
screen.
this reminded me of this, well, it reminds me of what they were doing with the Trill, kinda, in
Right.
Discovery. Um, but there's like clearly there's this thing here. Can you see that's a being that see that big
Yes.
cloudy thing?
Yes.
So that's a
Oh,
non-corporeal being
interesting.
of some kind.
Ooh, a
Leave
strange new
your world
being.
behind. So that's that. I'm gonna go with Ropente. Maybe not. But what are they doing? Are they trying to break? Are they trying to break number one out?
Oh, but why would number one be? Oh, maybe it starts out as a breakout scenario, and then maybe number one's like, no, you can't do that, and doesn't let them.
Imagine some you got like this whole team. They come and break you out, and then
And
when
she,
once
but
and
it
you're like,
would,
nah, I'm staying here.
yeah, like maybe she wants to stand
No, but
trial.
there's no reason
I
why
don't
she
know,
would
but I don't know what that scene is. It's interesting. Oh,
angry, angry, worried.
scared, fear.
No, we're just
Oh yeah,
like
because there's a shuttle crash. I
now we're
didn't
just
comment on the shuttle crash.
now we're just like the AI, trying to understand what emotions are.
Okay.
You want to comment on the shuttle crash? Boom.
That's cool. We get a shuttle crash. Wow.
That's the
No, it's pretty neat.
that's the
Like,
comment. I didn't comment on the
yes.
shuttle crash. That's cool. We got a shuttle crash.
No, I
Wow.
just wanted to see the picture of it. It's pretty cool looking. It's a pretty nice
Crash.
nice crash there. Very nice. Shuttle crashes are always cool in Star Trek. It's like a trope
Mm.
or a meme
I
or
think
just
ship
something that
crashes
comes
have
up a lot.
become
But usually shuttlecrafts. Like remember you have a couple maybe one or two on the original series, and then you have a couple on you have a few on TNG as well, DS9. Every
mm.
Star Trek seems to do a shuttlecraft crashing episode or two or three.
I don't think she was on the shuttle, to be honest.
No, it doesn't look like she was there, but I think she's come upon the
Yeah,
wreckage and she's horrified.
I think so. I don't know.
It will
Is there
also trigger her trauma a
Is it
little bit
Ortegas and
because
Jim that crashed?
or it could have been that scene where we saw earlier with Pike trying to man the shuttle and it was like heading straight for a planet. It looked like they were like diving in that scene for a planet. So Uhura might have beamed down, seen this, and then she might be reminded about her parents because remember they died in a shuttle crash.
I don't remember that.
Her family, her whole family, I think her brother and her
Everyone,
parents.
everyone's life is so terrible.
Well, it is.
They all go through. Oh, there we go. There's
Like
another shot.
relatively speaking, everyone could have a bad thing that happened to him, but it
Mm.
doesn't make the whole person.
This
But
is
things like
this
that could
is
trigger
what?
it.
This is warp drive, or this is floating through some like particles of some kind.
I'm guessing it's particles. A comet, hopefully. That's kind of a cool idea.
Mm. And so now we're
Or it
back
could just be
to
a stretch.
where you joined us again.
Yeah, now I'm okay. Now this could be Rurapente or it could not be. Because it has that purple tinge to it. So it's interesting.
Well, I mean, of course, I default to that every time I see snow, right? I'm like, it's
Yeah,
either
that's true.
Andoria or Repente, but it doesn't have
All in
to
all,
be.
I'm extremely excited about Strange. I'm so hype, super hype for Strange New Worlds season 2. It looks very. This trailer makes me very excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. I probably wasn't the most overjoyed for like season one. Like there were a lot of people that were more positive than me,
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah.
but no, my review was a positive one, and I did have a lot of fun. Um, I hope they find like their own kind of footing. That's why I don't want them to dive too much into like Cook and I don't want them to do the original series. We have the original series. I really want them to be Strange New Worlds. But it seems like we're going to see Strange New Worlds. We're going to go to different planets. We're going to see different cultures. And then if they can find a balance between that and then bringing back like, the Klingons and the Gorn and further establishing and further kind of like diving into like who they are as a people. And then like you say, don't make them like, what do you call them?
Monolithic.
monolithic. Yeah,
Yeah, just
give
like a
them
monoculture. Give them
make them
I like this.
multifaceted.
Yeah,
Make them
yeah.
yeah. But like
But I
generally
wouldn't mind
speaking,
also like, again, they don't have to explain it at all. I agree with the audience member who said that. Like it's I kind of like if it's just like audience, different people can have different interpretations of why they become that way. But that's my personal interpretation because the Klingons are brutal. They do soften up, or we do get to understand them better, but
mm,
their history is not a just like everyone actually.
yeah,
Just like yeah,
nor
Norse
are
is
the
ours.
Vulcans.
Yeah,
Vulcan history
Vulcans. Yeah,
is terrible,
I
dreadful.
think the Ferengi are the only civilization that, because Quark makes that claim about the Ferengi never had like some of the things like genocide and all that stuff.
Yeah, they
So
never had
it's interesting.
genocide and slavery and such, but I
Yeah.
still think they're not too good in terms of like
No, they're not enlightened, but yeah, it's like yeah, I would say that's true.
different aspects of their culture might be still questionable, at least by
Yeah,
our standards, right?
yeah, and that's an
Um,
interesting. And this
I
is
think
why
the
Star Trek
Tellarites
is great.
probably never. Well, we don't know enough about the Tellarites, much to the dismay
Yeah,
of Valerian Amchek. We don't know enough about them, but they haven't yet jumped into.
Jankum has given us some nice little bits, interesting little bits, and so is Dr. Noam from Prodigy. I have a feeling
Mm,
Prodigy is going to give us a lot more
that would be great.
stuff for Tellarites, or I would like that, anyways.
Yeah, I would like that too. So yeah, Strange New Worlds. We're hype. It's coming.
Epic hype, but not
Epic
as epic
hype.
as Picard. Yeah, epic hype,
Oh,
but not as
okay.
epic as Picard. That's my disclaimer. Do what you will with it.
And your hype for Section 31 has grown now after this conversation.
My interest in Section 31 has increased based on our conversation, but I'm also trying to keep my expectations, in check. I will say it's hard to do that though with Michelle Yeoh coming back because I do enjoy her and I really like the JoJo arc, so I'm excited to see where it goes next.
It will be a defining moment for Star Trek, I think, because it's going to be the first ever like video on demand release that we have in terms of like Star Trek stuff. And I think that I'm not
I
going to
think
say
that's safe
like
to say.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I don't think that the entire Star Trek franchise or like the future of the franchise is going to rest on the shoulders of this film. No, but I do think that like um quite a lot of like greenlit projects in terms of like new movies and like new video on demand films that like they will kind of depend on like how well this is received, like what the viewership is, like what the audience is for this. So it has a couple things not going for it, which is like the fact that it's Section 31. I don't think that's like the most appealing thing to everyone. But on the other hand, it has a major card going for it, which is Michelle Yeoh herself, right?
Yeah, and not only that, I have a feeling they will bring in other stars of the disco era, as I like to call it. So I think we're gonna see when we get a trailer that the and I'm excited for it to look. I hope that it looks like a film that could play in the cinemas. That's one of the things that I like about Star Trek Picard, is that when I saw it in theaters, it looked like you're watching like a movie,
Yeah.
And I guess that
So
may be true for all modern TV now. Maybe I'm just,
I'm gonna throw a little
it's like
shade.
at who?
Uh, Disney,
Oh, okay.
Marvel Disney, and I'm gonna say that, like in my opinion, a lot of these like the MCU shows that they've put out, and even some of those like MCU movies, like Black Widow, that they put out on the streaming service, I think they do not look good enough to be in the theater. Of course, it doesn't apply to everything. Like I think you and me would both agree that The Mandalorian is peak visual effects here. But like in terms of MCU, I think that there's a couple of movies that just don't look good enough, and they should really up their game. And I hope that like they don't do that with this thing. I hope that they make like I hope that Paramount Plus, Viacom CBS makes this thing look like really really good, so that in case they want to do like a release like in theater or something, they can do that.
I think that the what I've observed from Discovery season 1 to where we are now with Picard season 3 is that the one thing that's pretty consistent is the special effects seem to improve every season of every show. Like so each
Mm.
like it seems like Star Trek effects, keep getting better and better. And so I am excited to. I'm sure they're gonna nail it in terms of effects for this, and I think it's gonna have a bigger budget now that it's got Michelle Yeoh attached to it. I think they can attract other investors because movies make money, and so it could be that and maybe
Things
we'll get.
snowball into a bigger project.
Yeah, why not? But like not too big, like, just something that's still going to be released on Paramount Plus, but something that maybe could get a wider release. I think it's going to be interesting, like, they might even release it in theaters at the same time to get that technical achievement, you know,
Mm.
eligibility for the Academy Awards because you have to be released. You can't
In
like
a
the way
certain amount of
Netflix.
theaters, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, it could even turn into that. It all depends. One thing that I've kind of, you know, realized is that like you if you like Star Trek, you kind of have to like in a positive, friendly way, like let it be known what you like about Star Trek. Because I think they definitely do listen to the complaints. It's obvious, but man, it just
Yeah.
tires everyone out. like to like you just like just phrase it nicely. I think it's time for the Doom whatevers of the world to kind of chill out.
Chill out.
Chill out.
What
That's Starfleet.
the
Starfleet
message
Sohail's
of
advice.
the day? Chill out.
Chill out. Chill
Relax,
out.
yo.
Relax, yo. Go check out Sean V and his new song. That's relaxing.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. I couldn't listen to the whole thing, but I started it and it was good so
Ooh.
far. It was good
Okay,
so
that's
far. There you go. That's my
it
reviews.
was good
It was
so
good so
far.
it was
That's
good
you know
so far,
what?
yeah.
That's
It had
praise.
your signature things, which I thought was cool.
Okay.
You like to uh like there's like come on. Or whatever.
You
I
should
can't
be a
do it.
music critic, sir.
Hey, I listen to everything you publish, so whatever.
That's very kind. If you don't know what we're talking about, people, I have a channel on which I post music. But you can go and find a link to like the channel and my music over on my Twitter. If you go to Trick on the Tube, there's a link. I posted this song out there. I do it just for fun. Don't worry. Yeah, that's it. We're hype.
I
We're
think
hype
we
for Section
covered it, right? We're
31.
hype. We covered
We're
it, yeah.
hype. If you want to like a more in-depth analysis, yes, definitely go check out Text Trek and Father's Stream. Like they will absolutely probably dive into every frame with like a very critical and kind of like an analytical eye, and dive into more details and more canon things than what we did. But
Yeah,
we're here to
absolutely.
share our initial responses, our initial reactions.
Reactions, baby. That's what this is all about. Was a react. You got a reaction for an hour
You
and
got a reaction.
32 minutes. You got reactions.
I'm excited to see Section 31 take form in as a film. I think I personally prefer that. I think it's a better option, a better way to deliver that project. And I think that Strange New Worlds season 2, I mean it's looking like Strange New Worlds season 1. You know what I mean? So that ain't bad.
it's like it's actually looking better to me, but yeah, I get
Better?
what you're saying. Yeah, it
Okay.
looks more
I don't have
exciting. It
enough I don't
looks
have enough
bigger and
context yet.
okay, okay.
I don't need things to be bigger. I don't need
I
things to be
know. I know.
bigger
I'm just saying
and
if in scope, it seems like they're going to be doing a lot more
mm.
things this season than they could last season. Although last season
uh
did a lot. It's
the
true.
one thing that we still haven't seen anything about uh is of course the crossover, the Lower Deck Strange New Worlds crossover.
Oh, they
We
haven't
have
even
no
teased. We have.
footage.
Oh yeah. Oh my
There's
gosh. So,
nothing. They're
and they did a
keeping
good
that
job because I didn't
they're
even.
keeping that on the hush, yo. Like they're not showing anything.
Let me
Maybe
think. Did
because
we get a
maybe because that
clue?
maybe because that episode isn't done yet. Like animation, they say that animation takes so much time. And so
Wait,
like on the
did we not find out it's not animated, right? It's actually live action. Tawny Newsome and Jack Quaid. They're gonna play live action versions of their characters.
I was under the understanding that they were doing
No.
both. It's all just live
No,
action.
that's the little. There's probably a million things they're saving, obviously, for the show, but that's
We
the
have
thing
to
that
have
they're
an
gonna
animated
save.
Pike with hair that goes to like the ceiling or something.
My understanding is that there's gonna be, for sure, you're gonna get live action Boimler and Mariner.
Yes,
That's 100% for sure. You're gonna get that. I don't know about anything else because like I do remember reading something about Pike being animated, or it could have just been
it could have just
something
been me
you
saying that I
yeah you
want
put in
that.
my brain.
I have inceptioned the
but there
idea into you.
but I'm so excited about it. I was hoping we would get a Tendi cameo in Picard, but we did not. Like an adult, older Tendi
Mm,
cameo, or one of the lower deckers, or the Cerritos. But well, there's still one more episode, so who knows? We might see. Maybe that's what happens. The Cerritos actually saves the day in Picard. Like that. That would be really amazing.
I would like that.
I would too, but I don't think that's a safe gamble. I would bet against myself
Yeah,
on
I would too.
that one.
I would discreetly bet against you on that.
But yeah, it's gonna be really exciting to see live action them, and that's another thing that would be cool. Is one thing Star Wars does do really well, and that I enjoy, and I think this will be
Yes, I know
a
exactly
hint
what
of
you're gonna
it.
say. I
Yeah,
agree.
because I think I've said it before, which is
I don't
they're
think so. It's just that it
oh
just hit me. But go ahead.
they easily transition their animated characters into live action and
Yes,
back. Yeah.
I think the renditions are very good. Like, so I haven't seen any of the Star Wars animated shows, but I've seen like visually what they look like, and then when you look at them like live action, it looks great. They do a very good job, and then vice versa. Like I've seen animated versions of what like these live action characters that we've seen over the years look like, and they look very good. So yeah, it will have both animation and live action, but not at the same time.
Oh,
So
cool,
maybe
great.
they'll be going from like one ship to another, like one kind of visual style to another. So yeah, they're keeping that a secret. I mean, they're keeping that until the last
I'm
moment.
excited.
But that's cool. I
And
would be completely fine if they showed nothing of that until the moment the episode comes out. I want it to just blow my mind when it
yeah.
comes out. It'll be,
And
at the very least, one of the most memorable episodes of the season.
did you already do any lives or talks about the Academy show?
Not yet. I did. No, not yet. Did I? Did
Oh,
I? Did
cuz
I?
well, we don't know anything about it, but one thing we do know, the only
Did
reason
I?
I bring it up is that one thing we do know is that Tanya Newsom is attached to the writers room on that. So she's going to
Yes.
be a full-time or a regular writer, I guess. I
Mm.
don't know. On that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we should
And
do a
I
chat
listened to
about
the
that.
pod. Oh my gosh, this is turning into a Tanya Newsom.
Maybe tomorrow we can do a chat
It's
about
all-
that.
tomorrow I'm unavailable during
God
the
damn
day.
it! See, like he's doing this on purpose, people, and then he's gonna be streaming all day tomorrow, but just not
No,
with
I'm
me.
streaming in the evening at 7, and then
Yes, I
I
know.
could give you Friday morning if you
No,
want to do Friday
no,
morning
it's too late.
live.
It's too late.
Friday morning live with
Friday morning
Tanya and
live.
Starfleet Sohail.
Friday morning is Eid, so we're not. I'm not online.
I really like the Wish video, by the way. Thank you
Oh,
for being
thank you so
obsessed with
much.
me. I really
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you so much.
how I really appreciate how much I come up in that video.
Yeah, you're mentioned multiple times. You're heavily featured.
Yes, thank
Thank you
you.
so much for watching, everyone. We've
Oh, that's it.
gone.
Wait, Father has one more comment that I
Does
want to
he?
highlight. Yeah, he always
Okay,
has the
this one.
knowledge. And this is a preview of what you get on Text Trek, folks. So don't forget tonight at 8 p.m. 8 p.m.
He brings the
Central.
knowledge.
No, sorry, 7 p.m. Central Time.
Don't
Father,
screw it up.
confirm. Anyways, he says, I believe the 24th century scenes will be animated and the 23rd century scenes will be live action. We will see characters go back and forth. For sure, know Who Framed Roger Rabbit stuff. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, that's
Very
very
cool.
difficult to do. But yeah, oh hey, Cake is
7
Eternal.
p.m. Central. Very cool. Hey, Cake.
So yeah, everyone go check out Father's stream. He always has the info and the knowledge. Great people over there. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining me and having this chat with me.
Thanks for having me.
yeah, hopefully for those that kind of follow the lore of this channel, as you may or may not know, recently I had these like very fancy overlays made. They looked really good for like my live streams.
Ooh.
Yeah, and the thing is, for my solo live streams, they work fine at the moment. I haven't yet quite figured out how to manage it all with like the OBS and
Stream
inviting a guest over.
StreamYard now lets you customize every square. You can size them and do all that. So you can actually
Ooh,
create StreamYard. You don't have to do the OBS thing you
okay.
were planning on
I'll
doing
look into
anymore.
that. I'll look into
Yeah,
that then. I'll look
just
into that
FYI.
and yeah. But thank you everyone. Hit the like button, subscribe, tell everyone that we exist. Subscribe not just to me, but subscribe to the wild and wacky world of Star Trek that's
Star-
on YouTube here.
Starfleet Sohail.
Starfleet
You can find
Sohail,
us too. On Twitter, I'm still
Text
Starfleet Boy, and
Trek.
I'll probably forever be Starfleet Boy on Twitter.
That's fine. We forgive you on that. All right. Live long and prosper. You're all the best. See you next time.
Bye.